Ladies and gentlemen, direct from Scotch Plains, New Jersey, the Scotch Plainsman.
Here I stand, head in hand, turn my face to the wall. If she's gone, I can't go on, getting 2 foot small. Everywhere, people stare each and every day. I can see them laugh at me, and I live and say, help us out, right? Hey, you got to hide your loving way.
Everybody,
hey, you got to hide your loving way. How can I even try? I can never win. Here and there, fear and them, in the state I'll be. How could she say to me, love will find a way? Gather round all you clowns, let me hear you sing. Hey, you got to hide your loving way.
everybody, come on.
Hey, you got to hide your loving way. Dear Prudence, won't you come out and play? Dear Prudence, greet the brand new day. Hey, the sun is up, the sky is blue, it's beautiful, so for you, dear Prudence. Won't you come out to play? Dear Prudence, open up your eyes. Dear Prudence, see the sunny skies. The wind is low, the breath will sink, you will part of everything, dear Prudence. Won't you open up your eyes? Look around, 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 around. Look around, round, 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 round. Look around, yeah, yeah. Dear Prudence, little child. The clouds will be a daisy chain, so let me see a smile again, dear Prudence. Won't you let me see you smile, dear Prudence? Won't you come out and play, dear Prudence? With a brand new day, the sun is up, the sky is blue, it's beautiful, and so are you, dear Prudence. Won't you come out to play?
Thank you.
That's filed under the category of songs I wish I had written
Yeah.
as a professional songwriter.
Welcome, everybody. This is Pat Dinizio from the Smithereens, who's going to...
Thank you very much.
Pat has graciously agreed to join us here at the Fest for Beatle fans. He is a Beatles fan, long time, and anyone obviously who's ever heard the influences in his band, the Smithereens, who are now celebrating their 30th year. Is that right, Pat?
Correct, Peter, Tommy.
You know, any of their early records, their later records, and certainly we'll talk later about some of their tribute records, which were tremendous successes. And I know a lot of folks here at the Fest for Beatle fans have picked those up over the years. Pat, 30 years, the Smithereens. You know, some of those early records, like, I remember when songs like Beauty and Sadness jumped out of the speakers, I said, wow, that drum part sounds so good. You know, and for those that are familiar with it, very much a Beatles Revolver kind of sound. Talk about the early days of the Smithereens and how the Beatles influenced not only you to choose songwriting and singing and performing as your livelihood, but also how they kind of set the foundation for the band the Smithereens.
Well, I was born and raised in New Jersey, and I still live in my hometown of Scotch Plains, which is about 22 miles from New York City. And I first heard the Beatles in December of 1963 on WABC AM. There was a DJ named Herb Oscar Anderson, and I was brushing my teeth, getting ready for school. Was in the 3rd grade, and as was my habit every morning, I would listen to WABC on my red transistor radio, and Herb Oscar Anderson was one of our favorites. And he said, we've got this exciting new band from, of all places, Liverpool, England. He goes, let's give this a spin. He goes, it's the most unusual name I've ever heard. They're called the Beatles. This is I Want to Hold Your Hand. And I was brushing my teeth, looking at my face in the mirror. And when I heard the opening chords, I dropped my toothbrush in the sink. And I was just going to be 9 years old, I think. And that day, a snowstorm hit, and I made my dad drive me to the nearest record store, and we bought the 45 of I Want to Hold Your Hand. And I was shocked at how they looked. I had no idea. We heard they had long hair, but they really looked ugly on that picture sleeve. It's not the most attractive photo, and I also noticed that Beatle Paul was holding a cigarette in his hand, which, as you know, you Beatle fanatics like myself, it was later airbrushed out for political correctness reasons. But I remember playing it, and I Want to Hold Your Hand was like some strange music out of the moon, but actually after a while, I liked the B-side better. I saw her standing there.
Wow.
And then when She Loves You came out on the Swan label, I remember my best friend and I listening to it, and he preferred I'll Get You, the B-side.
Wow.
And I like She Loved You. So the Beatles were a very early part and influence on the music of the Smithereens. And in fact, in our very first sets that we did I'll Get You, because we didn't have enough originals.
Yeah.
So for us, it was the Beatles, and then all the American bands that were influenced by the Beatles. Bands you may have heard of, like the Byrds, who after seeing A Hard Day's Night, they formed the band. They wanted to be a folk version of the Beatles. The Beau Brummels, bands that were all influenced by the Beatles. So, and then from there on, we investigated the history of rock and roll, and we found out that there had once upon a time lived a man named Buddy Holly,
Oh, yeah.
who was a profound influence upon the Beatles.